you've come to Copenhagen, but it's the off-season. And it's pretty cold and wet. But fear not, just because the big attractions like Tivoli aren't open doesn't mean there's nothing to do in Copenhagen. And there are loads and loads of things to do in the off-season and loads of places where you can hide from the rain. Recently we went to Copenhagen, and so for the next few videos I'm going to bring you all the things that we did over there and kind of a few hints and tips for you as well. And in some of the videos I may touch on the same places, but I will try and give it different information about the place if it is repeated in more than one video. So hopefully you'll enjoy this series as much as I enjoyed, being there and working on it. And yeah, let's start off with what to do in Copenhagen in the off-season or on a rainy day. The first place I would suggest in the off-season is Nyhavn. Nyhavn, I can't say it.
Nyhavn.
Once a bustling commercial port, is now the perfect place to have a stroll, sit and have a meal, or take an iconic photo by the colourful houses. Now the reason why I'm suggesting this in the off-season is because it's really busy, so if you want a chance to actually get one of those fantastic shots, it's probably going to be your best bet. I would still recommend visiting even in the peak season, but do be aware it's going to be incredibly busy. If you happen to be here over Christmas, they also have a Christmas market here, which you can taste loads of Danish delicacies and get into the festive spirit. Talking about food, if you want fresh local produce, head on over to Torvehallerne food market. Again, I apologise for my Danish pronunciation. Here you'll find lots of fresh produce you can buy to cook at your Airbnb or hostel, or you can buy a meal ready-made to eat right then and there. Plus it's all under a roof, so it's a perfect place to escape the rain. So we got a fish cake from Botanisk, which we could get on its own or with some rye bread and this strange saucy thing which tasted very strongly of pickle. This was only 50 Danish kroner or around £5.76, which after living in London for quite a few years is not a bad price at all. The fish cake was absolutely delicious. It was fresh and perfectly paired by that stodgy bread and strong pickle taste. And that's coming from someone who doesn't really like pickle. However, if fish is not your thing, there are loads of other stores to choose from as well. If you want a bit more culture while still staying dry and warm, do head on over to one of the many museums that are around the capital. The only thing is, check the day, because nothing, and I mean nothing, is open on a Monday. So plan things outside for Mondays instead. Unfortunately, we never actually got round to doing the museums and galleries because we actually tried to go to them all on a very rainy Monday. But if you do get the chance to visit them, do check their websites beforehand because you can get deals if you visit more than one of them, and there are certain days where some of them are free just on that day. Obviously not a Monday. Instead, on that fateful Monday, we ended up at Bastard Cafe. This is one of our favourite places in Copenhagen. Every time we visit, we end up going here. Bastard Cafe is not only a great place to grab some chips and a drink, but it is also chock full of board games. Meaning it's the perfect place to waste time on a rainy day. Most of the games you do have to pay for, but they've got a huge selection of free-to-play games as well. And so you can just sit down, grab a game and start playing at no extra cost. We've visited quite a few times now and we still haven't got through all the free-to-play games, so there's definitely a really good selection. They also do some pretty tasty food and drink. It's actually thanks to Bastard Cafe that we have got all of these board games as well. As we played them there, decided we really liked them, and then bought them when we got back home. So thanks Bastard Cafe for not only making us spend all our money on you, but also when we got home. And when the rain stops, there is still so much more to explore outside. With many parks and beautiful architecture, Copenhagen is a really amazing city just to explore. By just wandering around, we saw plenty of beautiful streets, hidden cafes and pretty parks. We visited at the beginning of March, so it's still pretty cold and the trees were still rather bare, but the newest buds were just starting to sprout and flower, and red squirrels were just waking up from their semi-hibernation. We only managed to see one red squirrel though, and I had the wrong lens on, so I apologise for the shaky footage of that, but she was really bloody cute. If you go and actually spend a bit more time in the parks than we did, I'm sure you'll see many more. If you want more flowers though, and a bit more warmth, do head on over to Botanisk, which are the botanical gardens near Norrport Station. The actual gardens are free to wander around. There's loads of wildlife there, there's a big pond, and some kind of rocky gardens that are really nice to explore.
Go, go, go!
There are also 27 historical greenhouses. Now you do have to pay to get into these greenhouses. It's about 60 Danish kroner each, which is about £6.98. Inside you can explore a range of different habitats, from dry deserts to tropical mangroves, so you can see a wide variety of different plants and small animals as well, whilst also keeping nice and toasty and warm. The final greenhouse is called the Old Palm House and is breathtaking, with a huge domed roof standing around 16 metres tall. Now if you're feeling brave, you can climb up the spiral staircases to get a fantastic view of the whole room and get a feeling of what life is like up in the canopy. Now if the plants aren't your thing, maybe the architecture is, as these glass houses are stunning enough on their own. Even more impressive when you realise they were built in 1874, meaning they're around 147 years old. Another way to warm up would be going and getting a nice warm drink. Now a really popular drink out there in Denmark is kokio. This is like a chocolate milk. You can get it here in the UK, but only the very small bottles, and they're incredibly expensive. However, the big bottles are everywhere over there, and we even found this little coffee shop where you could get hot cocoa, and it was absolutely delicious. We actually visited a lot of different coffee shops on our trip, from the quirky and unique, which we found just by wandering around, to the standard chains that we actually hadn't tried before as well. One of these was Joe and the Juice, who did some really nice coffee and some even better avocado shakes. And then there was Espresso House, which probably did the best coffee we tried on our trip, and all came with a little chocolate. So those are just a few ideas of what you can do in Copenhagen in the off-season, but there are so many more things. Over winter the city comes alive with Christmas markets, and Tivoli Gardens, which is the second oldest amusement park in the world, is only actually shut for pretty much the month that we were there. So there's usually lots and lots to do, and this is just a very small selection of things to do in the off season. So do check out my next few videos that will be coming out, because I mean we went in the off season, so they're all things you can do. We're going to be doing a video for free or cheap Copenhagen, hidden gems, and of course exploring all the delicious food, which I will be recreating in my own kitchen sometime soon. So do come back for more. If you've got any ideas of where else people can go in the off season, do pop it down in the comments below and help other travellers out. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time, and safe travels. Goodbye.